Josh.
Got into a gibbering fool.
Right, kids, recording. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of AgogeTV. I'm your host, Phill Leonard.
And I'm your host, Josh Summersgill.
Before we kick off today's podcast, I just want to thank our sponsor, X Endurance. X Endurance provide lots of supplements, particularly, what's the one you use, Josh?
I think, fucking hell, call me
Put 'em
out.
on the
Very
spot.
5, maybe. It's the intro workout one. It's fucking
intro
sick
workout.
And it gets me through sessions.
It does, especially big long sessions. That's what Josh uses it for when he's on a heavy day. And if you want 20% off at the checkout at X Endurance, just use the code AgogeTV. That's AGOGETV 20, and you'll get 20% off. So thank you very much to our sponsor. Also, please like, subscribe, and share. The more you like and subscribe and share, the more we can get this out to more people. The more fun we get to have, the better guests we get. However, we have got the best guest today, the most demanded guest by our listeners, the Gareth James. Gaz is like a solar eclipse at CrossFit. We don't see him very often, but when we do see him, he's pretty fucking special. Gaz, first things first, welcome to the show, buddy. First thing I want to know is, how did you come about being a member at our gym, CrossFit LST? There you go, again.
Well, cheers, boys. Thanks for having us. I got poached, believe it or not, when I think back to it.
Nearly spat my drink out there.
So I'll take you back a few years, about 7-8 years or whatever. When I first moved up to Warrington, I started CrossFit from my friend Beddy, who runs CrossFit Wakefield, back from where I'm from. He was going on about it all the time. So I tried a few workouts, liked it. And I got in contact with CrossFit Warrington and rocked up there. And I remember, Phill, you was one of the first people I met there when we did the paleo workshop, back when we were all...
Paleo!
No carbs and all that. So, and then obviously from there, met some good guys and that. Obviously met Josh before we liked CrossFit. And I can remember his first competition where he looked like he was floating through the box, doing box step-ups. And I always remember that workout big time, because I remember snatching the bar and I held the snatch grip too wide and I sent it straight into my forehead and nearly knocked myself clean out.
I also remember that because I was stood next to you.
Yeah, and he got a couple of reps in front of me. And then, he put himself out. But it was a good competition, that. That's the one where I thought I was going to podium. And I said to Phill, I remember saying to Phill, I'm third. And I thought, I'm going to podium here. And I said, all I've got to do is say 6 people in front of Phill and I'm going to podium. And then it was last workout was like a load of pull-ups. And big Philly went full send and did about 80 pull-ups. And I think I knocked out 15. So I just fell down the rankings big time.
You know what? The one thing I remember about that workout, I did that many pull-ups, I wasn't able to open my shaker after it. I had to get Stu Bathgate to open my shaker for me because I couldn't grip it to like get the lid off. I was like, bro, help me.
It was good times, that. And then obviously when we went to Wales, didn't we? Went tubing. Tubing, wasn't it? In Wales, and that's when you told us that he was opening LST, and I had a massive. It was quite hard for me because I loved my time at CrossFit Warrington. I love the people and that, and I met some from not being from around here, not knowing anyone. Everything was done through CrossFit. All my friends I made were from CrossFit, so I was it's quite a big thing when I was deciding if I was going to come to your gym or not. But the thing that sold it is what I was saying when you poached me was it was that Sky Sports News screenshot you made.
Oh yeah,
I saying,
about that.
Let me see if I can find that.
Breaking news, transfer to the Barleticos, Gaz James from CrossFit Warrington to CrossFit LST. And when you sent me that, mate, that just like signed, sealed the deal. And never looked back since. Love it. Love hanging out with you guys and getting beasted by you.
Big money transfer that was. No, I do you know what I remember that because I remember Josh being like, "Can I post this on social media?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah!" I was like, "I'm not bothered about upsetting anyone."
I sealed it, mate, and I hope I've delivered. I know I'm not there all the time, but it's not been a bad transfer.
No, you're a top addition to the team, mate. To be fair, like I said, we give you a lot of grief because you show up to 1 in 10 6 a.m. classes, and that might be overestimating it a little bit.
Maybe.
But obviously you're always there when it counts. Open workouts, all the rest of it. Any gym events, you're the first man through the door. So, but a good old flip flop shows up when it counts, don't you, mate?
Flip flop, I fucking love that name.
So for those of you that don't know, Gaz is affectionately known as flip flop in the gym because he flip flops in and out of classes like like you won't believe. So obviously you mentioned that you started CrossFit through your mate Beddy, and for those of you for those that don't know, who's Beddy and how did he get you into CrossFit?
So I've known Beddy pretty much most of my life. We played football against each other when we were schoolboys in the local area, back over Wakefield way. And then when we went to college, when we finished school, went to college, did sports science as a BTEC, and he was on my course. So we've been mates ever since. And then obviously I left home and I joined the RAF, and that started me done in Wakefield, and I've been on the road ever since. But I was just doing some other stuff in the RAF gyms and that. Functional fitness or CrossFit weren't about then. It was just like, you know, doing spinning or whatever weights, you know, the standard split, you know what I mean, like arms and back and bis all week until Friday, and then skip legs day on Friday and do chest again.
It's all about.
But
oh yeah.
So I seen my mate Beddy had opened up this gym in Wakefield, and I got in contact with him through Facebook and just asked him about it, and he's like, "Yeah, mate, it's called CrossFit," and I thought it was taking piss, mate. I thought it meant cross trainer or something. So it's like, fucking be easy this. So he sent me a couple of workouts, and I always remember he sent me that. What's the one with wall balls? 150. Karen. Yeah. It's, oh mate. So I'm in the military gym, and I get to some random medicine ball, and I just starts doing wall balls, so squatting and throwing it up. But obviously, I had no marker, mate. I just thrown it. Basically, I just spent 150 reps of throwing a wall ball up in the air and then just letting it catch it. So I texted him. I was like, "Can't remember what I did, what time I did. It's a long time ago." But I said to him, "I've done it in this time." And he started laughing, mate, because I didn't have no idea. And obviously, in the gym where the station I was at wasn't a very big gym. It wasn't a very lot of equipment. And at the time, I was doing. I was reading. 300 were at 300 book. There's a 300 book called Spartan. I can't remember. It's basically become a Spartan or some shit like that. And
300 rep workout thing.
Yeah, I was doing loads of that stuff, so I thought it was a Spartan and that. And so then I started cracking on that. And then I found out I was moving over to Warrington because I was leaving the RAF. And then I found out that like there was a gym opening, and I just thought I'd just chance my arm on it. And I walked in there, and I remember it's like pretty much what everyone does. They go in, they sign up for 2 classes a week. You go in for your first session. I changed my membership to 3 times a week. Like third time, I've gone to full send on it, and I signed up for the full, like, you know, every single class. And I was here when I was over here. I was here all the time, just training or just hanging out and just getting to know people. Because one of the things I found with it, it's very similar. It's the only thing I found since I've left the military is the only thing that's similar with the mentality and the having a bit of crack and all that. You know, not a little bit, you know. A bit of banter and all that with people in there, so it's good.
Defo. Me and you used to go head to head on the regular, didn't we, Gaz? On the 7:30 classes. No, I know anymore. But 7:30 classes at CrossFit Warrington. I always, believe it or not, Gaz used to beat me on the run. And that was the bit that he'd get me on.
That's paleo athlete, man. That was when I was like a lightweight. I think it was like 85k or something.
You're a vegetarian now. But the question is, are you a vegetarian because you talk shit, or do you talk shit because you're a vegetarian? That is the question.
Just talk shit anyway, either way about it, mate. Just a verbal diarrhea. You know, so yeah, I am a vegetarian, and it's been since September, and I kept it under wraps for ages because we couldn't handle the
So anyway, thanks for listening to AgogeTV.
I couldn't handle the banter off you guys and the shit I get, and then it wasn't until I was like a closet vegetarian, and then obviously Craig came out the vegan closet.
Craig came out the vegan closet,
and you guys went to town in there, man. I always remember going. I thought, well, I'll stamp to his flag like or whatever. So I would come out at the gym when I'm a vegetarian, and Josh. I always remember Josh went. He goes, "Yeah, but at least you're not a vegan." And I was like, "Yes, I'm safe. Like I can't get as much shit as Craig." But yeah,
Craig got both barrels. It was that morning he come in and he said, "I've got something to tell you." You know, like I was his dad, and he was scared to tell me. And he said, "Nobody knows though." And I was like, "Oh, okay, that's a shame." And then like obviously mid class, Daz walks in. I'm like, "Daz, guess what?"
Straight up us.
Straight to him. Craig's mid workout just shaking his head at me.
I woke up to a text message. Craig's a vegetarian. He's a vegan. Get him. I'm like, what?
I saw a lot of banter on that group that we had, and loads of shit getting flied about vegan. And I thought the only person I told about it in the gym was Craig. So I thought, shit, has he outed me? And then I texted him, no, it's about me, mate. And he told me about it, and I started laughing. And I thought, yes, he's took one for the team here. But like I say,
so are you still a vegan?
No, I'm not vegan. I'm vegetarian. Yeah. So I'm still a vegetarian. It came about, mate. It's like it came about. 'Cause I went in October. I went to base camp in Everest, and it said in the joining instructions, it said, "Look, it's probably best off not eating meat because when up the mountain, you can't guarantee like the how hygienic it is or how long it's been on a yak's back or whatever like that." So I thought a month before I went out there, I decided to just chance it out, and this is when I was training. So I went to the gym and I wasn't bonking or anything like that, and I thought it was my standard, doing all right. And then we got out to Everest and stuff like that, and like, not mate, it wasn't. I didn't find it hard or anything like that, and didn't miss the meet. There's a couple of things that happened out there when we was down in Kathmandu, where there was a big festival, mate, and there was just clipping animals everywhere, man. The streets, a couple of times, the streets was running red with blood, and I started thinking about it a bit more. And it wasn't then when I come back after doing it, it sort of started thinking about the animal welfare thing and everything. And I went through Christmas, not a drama, and then I'm here where we are now. You know what I mean? Just fatter because I'm an unhealthy vegetarian. I just eat lots of burgers and chips and shit like that.
So I'm going to resist the urge to give you shit about being a vegetarian and ask you about Everest instead. So like, it's hurting me, but I'm going to ask you. So you went out to Everest Base Camp, and that was last year?
Yeah, October. Yeah.
So first things first, how did that come about, and like what was that? What was the whole experience like?
You know what I'm like, mate, right? So if
Gaz.
Yeah, Magpie Gaz. Phill used to call me Magpie Gaz because I'd look at a program and I'd be like, "Oh, that was fun. Let's do that. Let's foot CrossFit off for a bit. Let's do this." And then a week later, I'd be like, "Oh, what's that you doing, Phill? Oh, like, can I join?" And I do it all the time.
Gavel himself.
Yeah, get kettlebells out, mate. I'm full send on them. But when I see people post things on Facebook or Instagram, I take an interest to it. And a lad I know, he posted next adventure, Mount Everest. So I just sort of like touch base with him, and I says, "When you going?" And he goes, "We're next." It was like 2 years away. He goes, "I'm going in like 2 years in October." And I went, "Do you mind if I jump on that with you?" He went, "Nah, come along. It'd be nice to have someone there." So I thought, so squared it away with missus and that, and started saving for it, paid it, and all that. And then obviously before you know it, that it came round, and we got out there. And I met now, actually recruited another member for us, because I met a lad from our gym called Tuggers. And he kept asking me about CrossFit when he was out there, and I was telling him about it. And when we came back, he signed up, and I think he's loving it. But I don't know, because I've not been back to the gym for a bit. So
he has been to the gym more than you since he
has.
Right, Gaz, not to interrupt you, but I've just found it.
Yeah, no, it's mate.
It took me 10 minutes, but I fucking found it.
That's quality. That's when you got me.
Sorry.
Yeah, so we got out there, like I said, and I've always wanted to go to Everest and see it with my own eyes. And it was brilliant, mate. It was absolutely amazing. The views, the weather was great. And to be honest, from a personal perspective, like, I didn't find it hard. I didn't find the hiking hard or anything like that. I found and this is like the legit truth. When we got to base camp, I was a bit underwhelmed because it didn't hurt. I was expecting it to be a bit more painful. I thought I had to really, dig deep for it, and I didn't have to dig deep for it. So when I got to like base camp itself, I was like a bit like, "Is this it?" But then it wasn't until like Tuggers and a few other and Kev Grantham and all that, who'd been through like the ringer a few times. So I think Tuggers had not ate like for a few days, man, and he was like on fumes. And then Kev had been out with a bit of an injury, and he struggled. He was doing some right self-management on it every day, trying to get himself ready to walk. So I felt more like emotional when they crossed the line and got to base camp than when I did myself. It was a case of when I done it, it was like, done it, what's next? You know what I mean? On to the next one. But yeah, don't get me wrong. It don't detract from how amazing it was. It was the views.
How many days did it take you to get up there?
It's like 9 days, but you do 6 days proper climbing up. But so the 9 days, 3 of them days, you come back down a little bit to get used to the altitude and stuff like that.
So on a daily basis, do you have to like get up early and show up?
Yeah. It's no. I know where you're going with it. So,
no, not today, boys.
pretty much.
Yeah.
So it was good. It was a good time, man.
So what you're telling me is you can make it up to Everest base camp, but you can't make it. But you can't make it up 3 peaks in the UK.
Well, that's a bit of a different story. That's like, and like Gaz said, like Everest base camp, you're not even going all the way up the fucking mountain. Let's just put that one out there.
Well, I can tell you a story about the 3 peaks, or as it's affectionately known as in our gym as 2 peaks, 1 piss up. So obviously we were going to try and do the 3 peaks and that. With Josh was included in this. Phill didn't want to do it because he's not into that shit. So
I actually signed up and decided that you were all making a right fucking mess of it from day one and moved on to doing Rainhill instead.
Oh yeah, it was like obviously getting a logistics program by Mr. Tumble's not the greatest when we thought we was getting a bus, so we ended up with 2 vans or whatever it was, and it was fun, mate. Like looking back, it was a good crack. But
it was on the day when Tumble said to me, "Do you want me to get your water for you?" And I was like, yeah, definitely. Now, bear in mind, guys, obviously, I'd already spoke to you and you told me how many litres I'd need. And when Tumble shows up with like 15 litres in those big fucking 6-litre bottles, I'm like, what am I going to do with that? I'm not a fucking pack horse.
I just remember Rach just going, I ain't got a water bottle to carry it in. So I had to go in my car and get my son's tippy cup and give her my son's tippy cup. For the journey, but the drive up were good, and we made one fatal error, man. Is we got to Fort William at 5 o'clock and went for some dinner, and then we ordered a pint, and before you know it, it was 2 o'clock in the morning. Like everyone's shit faced. It was a wicked piss up, and everyone's dancing on shoulders. It was a quality piss up. Then we got up in the morning and we started hitting the mountain. When we started climbing, it wasn't too bad, but it started pissing down, and then from that minute on, we were just wet then for the rest of the day. And when we got to Phill, it was like people was hurting a bit, and we got up there at midnight. We started that climb at midnight, I think it wasn't it, Josh? It was midnight, wasn't it?
It was raining as well.
It was just miserable, and we got to the top of that. We tapped out. We started coming down, and this is when like Josh got a bit of a knee injury, and I've never ever seen anyone climb a mountain like a crab or come down a mountain like a crab before me. So
one of the worst experiences of my fucking life coming down Phill.
You know what Josh is like? He's quite a positive person, but yeah, he was mega in clip. And like,
I've not even took the stairs since that. I spent my entire life downstairs now.
He's bought a bungalow.
That's it.
But then, like Lucinda, she was struggling. She was and we got in the vans then, and we stopped for a brew about 2 hours in, just drive to Wales, and we just decided to look around the car, and everyone was fucked. So we just went, nah, it's not even worth it, mate. It's pissing down for the next one. It was like 40-mile-an-hour gusts on Snowdon, so we just thought, we'll do it another time. So we fucking rapped on it, and then it was a bit. And then the shit we got from the gym, mate. Fuck. I didn't think I came to the gym for like a week afterwards. I wouldn't be able to handle like the shit we got. Like
everyone does the 3 peaks, don't they? Everyone. We were just like, we got a better story than that.
Well, obviously, the thing was, Tumble obviously organised it, so he comes back in the gym, and I think I was on the 6 a.m. on his first day back in the gym. So I give it in both barrels because I was like,
because he was on his own, wasn't he? No one else wasn't. There's no one else from
no one else. No one else come to the gym. So I was like, right. I'm like, one, I had to take the classes all weekend so that you could climb 2 fucking mountains instead of 3. And it just did it then from there. And I'm pretty sure he left because we bullied him too much. But you know, when he listens to this, we'll find out.
I love that, you guys. It's like a tough love. I love that. You know what I'm like, mate, in the gym. I don't like the pink and fluffy stuff. I don't like, come on, you're doing well, keep going. I'd rather you give me some shit. Like, come on, don't be a weak fat man. Or sorry, not a weak fat man. What is it? A fat strong man. No, fat strong man. Whatever like that. You know. So I prefer that because I get motivated more than they're like, come on, keep going. And whenever I'm coming last in one of classes, I can't handle it. I can't. When people start like circling you, I like going in the corner and facing the wall and not looking at anyone. And firsthand, Josh. Remember that workout we did, you and Johnny? Yeah. It's like it's like a 15-minute workout. It was like 80 handstand push-ups, and every time you broke the handstand push-ups, you had to do 100 and whatever clean and jerk, wasn't it? Well, clean and jerk.
Yeah, clean and jerk, 100k.
I thought, fuck yeah, I could have 5s. End up doing more clean and jerks than I did handstand push-ups. ended.
You did it though. To be fair,
I got it done.
Like we had to restart the 99-minute timer for you. But you did do it.
Well, I think you got it done in like 15 minutes. Johnny went far behind, and I was up at the upper echelons of maybe 60 minutes or whatever. But I didn't quit, man. And then these just left me alone because I knew that they just knew that I won't respond to them going, like fanning me out or whatever. Like
no,
that.
you was in the zone. It was like, right, Gaz is gonna get through this, and like standing around cheering him on. He's not that kind of guy. Do you know what I mean? Like you've got a background of being in the RAF, haven't you? Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I've never been in the military, but I'm not convinced. Like, come on, guys, you can do it.
Like, in the military, I want anything special, mate. I was like a techie tubby, you know what I mean? I fix radars and shit like that. So, like, I want like sport. Like, I've always been sporty, but like, I mean, and I've represented like my stations at football, and I've done other shit like that. But you know what I mean? It's not like we're not out there getting like blown up, or we're not there running tabs and things like that. And we get this took out of us a lot because like my dad's ex-army, so he gives me shit all the time about being a blue job and that. There's like I think there's like a joke or something saying like an army man finds a spider in his tent. What's he do? He eats it. What's the Navy man do? He fucking pops another bottle of rum. And what's the RAF lad do? He rings reception and goes, "Why is there a fucking tent in my room?" So it's like that sort of like pink and puffy stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah, I love my time in there though, but it taught me a lot of stuff that you're not governed by where you're from or anything like that. Like the amount of stuff that I did in the RAF, I went like mountain climbing in Morocco. I did the Grand Canyon mountain climbing, done some sailing, did a lot of sport. Went and played football in America. Done loads of good shit, mate. And I think if I had joined up, I'd just been working in a pub or some shit like that. Because it was mate, I've got a funny story now. Like so. So when I was like a young lad, I've told you when I was playing football against Beddy and that, I was pretty decent, like, and I got picked up by Barnsley when they were Premier League club, and I was training with them for a bit. But I knew when as soon as I got there, I knew I was never good enough to make it professional. I didn't have that some of the levels where the other guys' heads were at, and so I did that. And at the time, I was like 12 stone, I had abs, believe it or not, and things like that. And I was well in shape. And then when I got released, I went to college and I got a job, and the job I got was at McDonald's, mate. Right, and at the time I started working at Mackie D's, and started eating that shit because it's nice. Well, at the time it was nice when I used to eat meat. And before I know it,
they do vegetarian at McDonald's.
Yeah, no, not any good. But
fish
2 years passed.
Not any good.
2 years passed, Josh. 2 years passed, and I put 6 stone on, mate, and to the point where I had a 38 waist. Trouser, and I couldn't do the button up. I didn't want to go to 40 waist, so I used to staple my trousers together. You know, when it goes all like that. And I shit you not, mate.
Why was that your go-to thing? I know. What is going to fix this problem? Staples.
Well, that's the only thing I could find, mate. So
no,
yeah, I just
go on. Anyway, carry on.
Didn't you once Velcro your pants back up though, because they were too long?
No. What I did, 'cause I'm a fucking genius, is before skinny jeans come in, I used to go out and your jeans used to trail along the floor behind you. You know, I've got really long legs, so I basically super glued Velcro to the back of my shoes and the inside of my jeans so that they'd sit nicely above the floor. It was fucking sick.
Oh,
it's only bad when you tell people. It looked great until
it looked great until you made the mistake of telling people that that's what you'd done.
Or trying to take your shoes off. Yeah, exactly. So go on, guys. You were saying.
No, I was saying that. So I proper let myself go, mate, with that. But I say from there, even though I was that big, I was like 18 stone or some shit, and I still trained. I've always trained, man. I've always trained. So apart from recently, to you guys, but I do come now and again. A minute.
I mean, you have got a decent squat, haven't you? To be fair, you're nearly at a body weight back squat now, aren't you?
I went far off, mate. If this corona carrying on.
You squat 200k?
No, I did that. I did like.
I've seen you at a big 190.
Yeah, a 190 years ago, mate. But it's one of them. And the thing with CrossFit and weightlifting, man, I always find it's it beats me up because it pisses me off because you get a good lift. Like, so I don't know, a 190 back squat I did once, and then I was like, oh, I can get a 192. Then I failed the 192 or whatever it was, and then I started thinking about that more than the positives I got from getting a good lift. So I always beat myself up about things like that because it's like I think you talked about it in a podcast before. It's like what Dr. Big Mac. I'll go on something else then.
Nearly.
Years ago, mate, we called him. We saw him chatting to someone. We called him Dr. Big Cock. That's what his nickname was for a bit before we started calling him like that. It's like, hi, I'm Dr. Big Cock. Yeah, I remember and you said something on the previous podcast about like, was it like too competitive too shit to be competitive, but too competitive, or something like that. I can't remember.
Too competitive to lose, too shit to win, something like that.
That's it. And
but something like that.
I think that as well. Like, it pisses me off. I think I want to be better, but it pisses me off when I.
Very humbling CrossFit like that, though, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
And I think you can really beat yourself up with stuff like that because there's no ceiling. Like, especially like you look at weightlifting, you can always lift more weight. If you look at, I don't know, your 2K road time, you can always go faster. Do you know what I mean? I think like if you beat an all-time personal best and then you miss the next one, so fucking what? Do you know what I mean? You got to let that shit go and buzz off what you actually have done, because if you don't, then you're never going to take any enjoyment in anything you achieve, are you?
Well, no, I mean, it got to a couple of years ago. I remember when Phill grounded me for a bit. He said I wasn't allowed to. I had to spend 6 weeks and not RX in a workout because I was getting too obsessed with getting the RX on the board that I was starting to put myself like in some stupid positions and I was hurting myself a bit. But it was quite funny when I took the pressure off. I enjoyed it, and that's probably one of the best times I got in shape because right up to the battle cancer.
Because you were doing CrossFit properly.
Yeah, I was listening for once. Up to battle cancer. That's probably, which was like maybe 18 months ago. Well, the one I did, I was training really well, and I loved it. But since then, I just sort of fell off the wagon with it. Sometimes like CrossFit's like a bit of a love-hate relationship. I love it, and I never stopped doing it because like the benefits. Like I always find it with football and things like that. I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to do any runs or anything like that. Whereas before I did CrossFit, I had to always running over bits in the gym on the bike and stuff like that. But I just turned up and I felt fit. But the flip side is I hate being shit at it. And 7 years, mate, I put 7 years into it. Not consistently, but I put 7 years in and I still can't do a frigging muscle up. You know what I mean? And a burpee. You've seen me burpees, mate. Now.
Do love a good Gaz burpee.
Times lapse burpees, you know. So,
so obviously you've been doing CrossFit for, what do you say, like 7 years now, 8 years, something like that.
Yeah.
So one thing you do really well in the gym is socialize with the members, whether they've been there a while, whether they're brand new to it. So if, let's say, you miraculously show up at a 6 a.m. class, we've got a new member.
Yeah.
And obviously you go over and have a crack with them. What are 3 things that you're going to tell that member? So like whether it's bits of advice or, so obviously from your experience of doing CrossFit for 7 or 8 years.
Just listen. Don't copy other people because obviously you don't know what levels people are at. So you could go in and see everyone's RX. And like I've come a cropper to this back when I was at CrossFit Warrington. I remember it was like, I think it was clean and jerks. This back one was like, we just started CrossFit, you know, it was like a brand spanker. Every single week was like a brand new movement. And it was like clean and jerks at 60K for like a load of reps. And I did one and clean and jerks. I thought, yeah, I've got this. And I think it was like 40, 50 reps. And I started the workout and yeah, mate, it buried me straight away. And that was quite an humbling experience because I realized then it's not a dick swing contest no more. You know what I mean? No, like people think, like no one, I think no one gives a fuck. And Phill said this years ago, and it's still, I say it all the time, is nobody gives a fuck about anyone else unless it involves them. So he said this in the gym. He goes, you can go home, tell your missus, you'd be like, oh, today I did Fran and I did it sub, whatever. She's like, oh, that's nice, dear. You know what I mean? And it's only relevant to him. So since Phill said that to me, I sort of like, I really believe it, mate. You know what I mean? Like, I don't look, and if you're throwing big numbers up, or if Phil's doing a fast row time, I don't look at it now and go, I need to beat that. I just sort of like, no, I'm proud for you guys now instead of trying to compete with you.
You are the center of your universe, do you know what I mean? And that's like applicable to absolutely everybody. So yeah, I think you're dead right with that.
Yeah, you just can't compare yourself to everybody because there's so many like like different strengths and weaknesses, and you look at the elite now, and there's no fucking point comparing yourself until you. No, if you compare yourself now to where you could be in 5 years' time, you'd probably be looking at. Well, you'd probably be looking at the same Gaz, but we don't. But you get my point. Like, you'd be looking at somebody who's a shit ton better than you are, and you can't compete with them. So, like, but if you look at if you're looking at the elite, that could be somebody in 5-6 years. Yeah. Like,
what did Emma McQuaid say yesterday? Like, she's been doing it 6 years? Is it?
Yeah, like
something like that. And like, she was telling us about how she like used to struggle doing banded pull-ups. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So like 5-6 years, you can go from never doing CrossFit before to the games.
Couldn't do a banded pull-up. Now she is an elite athlete, and she'll hopefully be at the games this year again for the second time. Do you know what I mean? Like, she's been there or thereabouts for years.
I always remember one of the times, Phil, when you was on fire, mate. I think you put like a good 12 months into training right up to the Open, and you got injured, mate, during the Open. And I remember that thinking, shit, you put all that time, and obviously I seen you're good at going into the pain cave, you, mate. I mean, Mara Murph.
It's the only thing I've got.
What a dickhead idea that is, Mara Murph. You know what I
mean? So no, I can't even argue with you.
Just to clarify, that's not like Cumbrian Murph. Mara Murph is not that.
We've talked about it on the podcast before, but I've done like What happened was, we were getting a defib, and we had like 200 quid left to raise. And I went, I tell you what, if we raise that 200 quid, I'll do Mara Murph on Christmas Eve, which is a marathon row directly into Murph RX. And I was like, right, okay. I was like, my first thought was, doubt we're going to raise that 200 quid, but it might get us a little bit closer. And then like, we raised like 120 quid. And Johnny, who we mentioned earlier, walked in and was like, I'll put the rest in. I was like, fuck you. He's like, I just want to see. He said it like, he come in with the money and was like, I just want to see you do that. I was like,
that was amazing, mate. That's amazing. It's like that's one of the things, the mindset of the people in the gym. I always remember early days when LST first opened, and like you guys, like, I think as a coach, it's like a thankless task, mate. You're always trying to help people better, but sometimes you never get no feedback, and that's what I see. So I always remember when at Christmas time, when I did a whip round for you guys, and at the time I was thinking, well, we'll probably get about 100, 200 quid. We'll get a pegboard. And I thought, oh, fuck that, it's a bit shit that, so I'm gonna go big. So I put a big, massive, like compact, like blagging everyone, and we raised about, I think it was over £1,000, and bought that first air bike, if you remember. And I always loved that. We kept under wraps, and like, I just couldn't believe how generous the members were. And bear in mind, this was in the early days where everyone didn't know each other as good as they do now.
Well, we've been open like 8 months.
Yeah. We raised that money, and I always remember when you guys came in, and we obviously had to go pick it up, but we presented it to you with the card and then the bottle of rum. And like I say, Josh was close to tears. I always remember that. It was like that. And
I'm always close to tears. I'm an emotional motherfucker.
It's one of them, mate. I love that. That's what I love about the community. Everyone mucks in, and it reminds me a lot. Like I say, when you're away on detachment or anything like that. Like, I've lived on a mountain before in the Falklands, and with 12 people, and you've got to like give and take, because you can't cherry pick the people you're with. You might be with some proper like legends, or you might be with some proper thrusters. But if they're thrusters, you've still got to get along with them. You've got to socialise with them. You've got to work with them, and all that. And like, not that that's the case in the gym, but it just reminds me of that everyone's there having fun and having a crack, and we work out hard. And then also when it comes to the social inside, well, you know, it gets crazy. I love that side of it as well.
To be fair though, to you as well, one thing you are very good at is positive feedback, in terms of like, but you won't do it when asked either. I mean, if you think someone is doing something good, whether it's one of us, whether it's one of the members or whatever, you'll be the first person to acknowledge that straight away. I think that's nice as well, because there's not a lot of people that actually do that. Do you know what I mean? And you just do that off your own back as well. So that's
nice to be nice, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
And to give Gaz his credit as well, like we get Gaz to do a lot of stuff in the gym, like voluntarily, just looking after teams and things like that. So like when we do the Open, Gaz looks after, like always looks after the team, and everyone tells us how sick it is to be on Gaz's team because he gets behind him, he looks after him, and he's like, we can't get him to the gym at 6 a.m, but we put the open on and make him in charge of a team, and he's first there at 2 o'clock when the doors open, like cheering his teammates on. Do you know what I mean? Like
with a giant flag.
With a giant
exactly,
flag. Yeah, with a giant flag and a sloth mask. That's but like, so to give Gaz his credit, like I say, you're a good leader when it comes to putting it in a group and throwing it out there. Is there anything that you'd put down to? Was it your time in the RAF? Was it just your experiences as a kid, or what made you a good leader?
I don't know, mate.
Scarfell.
Yeah, Scarfell. Yeah.
He wasn't a good leader until he went there, and he had to try and get Josh round and
that's it.
One leg.
And I'm still here.
Yeah, man. Got down. He got sorted you out, mate. It's one of I don't know if it's like an innate thing in me because when I was playing football, like I say, I never thought I was like the alpha of the team or anything like that. But when we got into like under 15s and 16s, I kept getting like selected. Like when the captain was away, I was getting selected as like the captain in the teams and stuff like that. So I don't know what people saw in it. And then when I joined the RAF, I got made like the senior man of the basic training guys. So you look after everyone in the group. But the thing with that is I forgot about myself doing that, and I failed an inspection on day 17 or some shit like that. I failed my inspection, so basically I couldn't go out on the weekend. I had to stay in and fucking prepare for another inspection. So I sort of like I went to see the boss, the sergeant, and that, and said, look, I don't want to be the senior man because it's all right me looking after everyone else, but if I don't pass this myself, then there's no point. You know what I mean? But then when I later on in the RAF, I'd done a few like exercises and that, and I've always been told like I make a good leader and that, but I don't know. It's just one of the things. I just say what I see, like a proper Yorkshireman, mate. I say what I see, and if I agree with it, I agree with it. If I don't, I'll tell you. You know what I mean? So, I think being honest in that about it is one of the big things. But that's why I like about you guys, like the feedback you give me as well. Like, you know what I mean? I always remember like doing that, my PB snatch. I was well made up, and I did it in my underpants as well. If you remember, and I got there. And I got it up, and I was fucking running around gym, going, "Yeah, 90, come on!" And then Phill came up to me and went, "No rep. You didn't get no depth." And I was like, and the thing is, mate, I look back at that video, and I'm like, "Fucking right, that prick." so I don't consider it. I don't consider it like this. Like, yeah, I consider it my power snatch PB. I don't consider it my proper PB.
I've got to point out as well, like, because that makes me sound like a right dick. But there's few and far between people that you can do that to that will motivate them to do it better.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And you're one of those people when you're in the gym, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm just going to say to you, right, that wasn't good enough. Do it again. And you'll do it better. Do you know what I mean? Whereas, like, no, I can't treat everybody like that. It's bad. It's coaching the individual. Yeah, I wish I could. I wish I could. Cause that's more my coaching style. But, like, again, like for you, you'll respond to that. Somebody else, I might just nod and be like, yeah, well done. Like, and maybe next time you should try and do it a little bit like this, or think about this when you do it, whatever, you know what I mean? But like, I like people, like, I put you in the same category as Big Mac like that, where like, I can just tell you want to get better enough for me to be able to give it you straight, and like, and again, let's credit to you that you want to improve, and if you come to the gym, then you might actually get better.
Yeah, I need to start coming back, don't I? Well, it's like challenges. I always remember, Phill, you challenged me once on Fran to go RX. But I had to get sub 6 minutes. And obviously, I'm a big guy, man. Pull-ups and gravity in the gym, I swear, is higher than it is outside because that shit gets heavy.
It's like, you know, when you climb a mountain, you acclimatise.
Yeah.
The more you do it.
Yeah, I need to climatize. But I remember Phill went to me, if you don't get below 6 minutes on this, you've got to fucking run to the butty van naked. Like that. And I'm like, I
forgot about that.
That's a challenge. That's a challenge. I'm game for that.
He got 5:59.
I can't get to the butty, man. What are you talking about?
I'm sure he got 5:59 or something like that.
I think I was around about it. Like, I don't know his exact numbers, but I didn't have to run naked. I thought I don't want to put it in a register or anything like that. So it was a win. You know what I mean? So
in fact, no, I think you got 6:01 or something like that. And we agreed that like that was close enough to hit the stimulus, and that like, and then neither of us had to run to the butty van naked because I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it was one for that. And same with, I love the challenges though. When back in the day when we was, do you know what was that app? The app that came out and we was doing the rowing all the time, trying to beat each other's row times, 250-meter row times and 500. You get on
beyond the whiteboard.
Yeah, that was it. And then I was always at gym just doing this stupid fucking rowing, like full max chat sends on it and that. You know what I mean? It was painful.
100 meters for 100 meters as fast as
I remember that as well.
Good times, man. Good
me
times.
Me and Gaz just swapping. He'd do one and then I'd do one. We'd just keep seeing if we could beat each other.
But one of the things I love about like the gym, and obviously I've known you guys a long time now, and I've done a lot of stuff not only in the gym but outside the gym. I miss this loads. Gymnastics, when we used to go gymnastics, and we took out the gymnastics class, and I always remember like we'd go there, Phill, and obviously we weren't very good, and Josh goes, he's a bit of a fucking freaking ninja, and he's doing his handstands and getting his one-on-ones, and I just remember looking over on the tumble floor and seeing Phill trying to do a forward somersault, and he just go gosh, that used to crack me up. That, and when he used to try and graft Nina, when he was always putting a graft in with her, like we was all giving him that load of shit.
Hey, it worked. It worked.
That's forward somersault.
That's how he got his handshake. All the graft that he did at gymnastics. Come on, Phill, tell us about the handshake, lads. What happens?
Oh, Jesus. So this is going out in the world, isn't it? Right, so obviously... So I met my girlfriend on a night out from when we was at gymnastics. So we went to Warrington Gymnastics, and we used to go to the adult class there, and I'd say learn to do gymnastics, but I think me, Gaz and Tim basically threw each other about on the soft floor while Josh tried to do a backflip and everybody else, like, that was pretty much it.
Pretty much.
What was it? No-handed cartwheel that you wanted to do.
An aerial, yeah.
An aerial, yeah, that was it. And obviously the coaches there, being excellent, used to always just come over to us and go, you just do it like this, and we'd all be like, yeah, all right, crack on. So anyway, because we got friendly with the coaches, we got invited to their night out, and it just so happened to coincide with the night that I left my job to open the gym. So we all went out, and obviously there was a hot Irish girl there with big boobs and curly hair, and that was I was like, all right, it's a bit of me. She's not had curly hair since. But we'll leave that there. So anyway, I'm thinking, right, well, let's keep it PC. I'm in here. Right, it's going well. She was flirting with me. She was bladdered. So my perfect woman, Irish and bladdered. So I was like, right, okay. I was like, I'm on. Ask her for a kiss, and she leant over and shook my hand and fucked off.
That's the key to a stable relationship. You put yourself together.
Apparently so.
Where's that?
I was like, and I was literally, I was left with one of our friends, Dave Miller, sat outside in Warrington Town Centre, going, "What the fuck just happened to me?" But then we searched her out and found her on Facebook, and now I'm stuck with her for life.
Yeah,
so,
there you go. Foundations. I threw blue tack at Rach in French when I was 14, and now, like, we're solid as well. So how it works. Gaz got married in Vegas, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I forgot about that. There's a lot of stuff I forget. Mate.
Forgot about that.
Not like I've gotten married, but hang
on, Gaz. So just, can we get your missus on? Because you remember how I got with my missus, but you don't remember where you got married.
No, what I mean is, I got married in Vegas. Like, that was quality, mate. My biggest regret though of it, I wanted to get a tramp as like the witness, but Carly, my missus, didn't want to have a tramp on wedding photos. We met some random people on the piss, and they were on their honeymoon. So we've got a wedding photo. I'm like in a suit, Carly's in a wedding dress. We've got these two. One guy's wearing like board shorts, and other girls like in a little like floaty dress. But I thought, how good would it be? Like having me in my suit, her in a dress, and then a tramp with a bottle of whiskey or something like that. How good a wedding photo that would have been.
So did you go to Vegas with the like intention of getting married, or was it like I got to Vegas and was like, fuck it, let's get married?
Well, when I come back from Afghanistan, I got engaged because when I was out there, I was living in North Yorkshire, and I kept emailing Carly, my missus, and I was saying, look, I want to move. I want to move to Harrogate. Send me some pictures of houses. She kept sending me fucking pictures of engagement rings and shit like that. So
hint,
yeah, big time hints. And all lads then when I was away, they was all getting on my back, going, "You get engaged," and I got like. So when I come back, obviously I got engaged at Christmas when I got back, and then we bought a house in North Yorkshire, and then I got posted down to Lincoln, and so it was like, what the fuck do we do? We have to sell this house, and it was just cheaper to get married, and we'd always planning on getting married in like another 12 months, but we decided, like, looking at that, and I thought, everything looks shit. I went, let's go on holiday, let's go to Vegas, let's get married in Vegas. And we went and done that. And then, because we don't like money, we did another one when we got back to the UK.
Because we don't like money.
She went like fucking crazy with spending on that, mate. She wanted like a Michael Jackson light up dance floor and an ice bar and everything, but that didn't get the brass back. Mate. We're not on Johnny's. Yeah, so yeah, we done it twice, mate. The same girl. So yeah, and I got two kids as well now. So they're take up a lot of the time now, but they're fun, mate. They're good times with them. Like, obviously, you know, my son Arlo, he loves hanging out with you guys. He's probably better CrossFit than me as well.
Hang on, I got to take it back. So just so we know the order of things, like you got engaged and then you started planning the wedding, didn't you?
Yeah.
That's how it works, isn't it, Josh?
Not my podcast. I'm not the guest.
Hey, if I get thrown under the bus, you're going under the bus.
So me and Rach had like been together since, you know, like 1910 or something. So we was always going to get married, and Rach just happened to start planning the wedding before I'd asked her to marry me.
Really?
I'd organised, if you ask me.
That's quality, that, like.
You had a venue booked before you proposed, didn't you?
Yeah, which made asking her dad for permission really awkward, because I asked him and he was like, well, yeah. Well, I've kind of got no choice now because he's already fucking booked.
That's got to be the easiest asking for permission ever. Hey, so
forgiveness is easier than permission, let's face it.
Yeah, good man. It was good your wedding though. I enjoyed your wedding, mate. It was good time.
Tremendous.
Yeah, like that.
Was a good day. Oh, right, guys, we've got to start wrapping it up.
Questions.
No, we could go on for ages.
Yeah, we could definitely just sit chatting all day, especially telling stories, because we've got loads of good stories. Especially you, Mr. 10% Truth.
Well, let me go back onto this now, right? I was telling Josh about it the other day. I got a clip with this, like, you know what I mean? Never let the truth get in the way of a good story and the 10% truth shit. So when we was in the Falklands, we had this thing called Snitch and Bitch on a Monday where we got awarded, like, you've had like a bad week, you'd be like, oh, Phill, he's a bit of a prick, but he's done this, X, Y, this. But so there's no grievances on the mountain. So we did think there was like these awards you could get, and people would put boring awards in, like, there were one called like animal abuse, it was called. So it was like, someone's like, oh, so-and-so kicked the cat, so he'd get an award for that. And I thought it was a bit shit. So I came up with this thing of 10% truth, and it was a case of, I said, like, oh, yeah, 10% truth, and he can make a story up. So, so I caught Josh in the shower choking a maggot, and that's what I put in for, like the not child abuse, the animal abuse. So that's where that came from. And then obviously I joke about it in the gym, but like legit, mate, my story is the truth. Like, I'm
not talking shit.
I can say some proper wrongings as well.
We know. We'll get an X-rated podcast with Gaz one day. We'll go full X-rated. I mean, we don't really care about swearing and stuff like that, but we'll have to get like a full explicit.
We'll leave you blue on blue out of this.
Yeah, we'll go X-rated with him. We'll get him on, and we'll just put disclaimers all over it and be like, look, don't watch this if you're easily offended. Right, Gaz. So, questions for you. First things first. Book or film recommendation?
Book. Oh, it's my favourite book. It's called "Don't Tell My Mum I'll Work on the Rigs. She Thinks I'm a Piano Player in a Whorehouse." It's called. It's by Paul Carter. It's a guy who worked in the rigs, mate, and it is fucking funny. Right. Okay. I've never been like laughing out loud when I read a book, and. Nice. I've read it twice, and I've listened to it on podcast twice today. That's how good it is. Right. Not podcast, on Audible. It's really good, mate. It's just stories, like stuff I like. I like anything funny or anything, just stupid stories, man, of what his life entails.
Yeah, I like it when I can get an Audible like that as well. Okay. If you could sit down with one person, anybody, and learn as much as you possibly could from them, who would it be?
I gotta say, I like what Gary said about Bruce Lee. I like the idea that I like Bruce Lee and that, and I think it'd be cool to hang out with him. But someone who I'd like to really hang out with, and I know him, I met him and stuff like that. But I'd like to hang out with Ross Edgley, because he's got some good stories, and I'd love to hear it from the horse's mouth rather than just reading it in the book and things like that and seeing what we see online. But
To be fair, one of my favourite stories of Ross was when we went out for a night out for Primal, and he was sat there and he was telling all his stories and stuff like that. And then what was the game that we started playing? It was just like dares, wasn't it? It was like daft little dares and things like that.
I don't remember.
And he somehow convinced me to put my chin on Dave, Fish and Nutrition Dave's shoulder, and I had to try and keep it there for 20 seconds without him noticing. And I committed, and I got it. But I was like, where? Like when I'm thinking I'm going to dare you to do something, do you know what I mean? Like I don't know where my mind would go with that, but I wouldn't be like, I dare you to put your chin on his shoulder for 20 seconds. I'm like, all right, you know what I mean?
Ross is like the Shelby GT and gone in 60 seconds, like the car that he just like, no matter how many times he tries to get it, he can. That's like Ross with this podcast.
Yeah.
Is it really? Is it?
Me and Phill just trying religently on a weekly basis. He just can't get near him.
I bought his book just to try and get him on, and he's having none of it.
I just bought his new book, The White Buffalo. You've seen Hot Tub Time Machine, have you? It's that movie.
I've seen that.
Yeah, I've not seen it.
It don't matter. I love dares though. I've got some funny stories about dares as well. So
I think that's for the X-rated podcast. That one, guys.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, obviously you're a member of the gym, so I want your top 3 dick gym moves. So example would be snatching in your undies.
That's
not booking off.
Yeah, not booking off 6 a.m. classes because you are getting up at 5:15 and booking immediately off the 6 a.m. class. So top 3 dick gym moves.
Dick gym moves. That's an hard one. That dick moves from the gym.
Like, what pisses you off in the gym when you see someone do something?
I find shit funny. I find weird stuff funny like that. You know what I mean? When like some people, like with the people who are good at CrossFit, are fit and good at CrossFit, and then like start giving other people shit. It makes me laugh that sometimes, though. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Like, I can't think of it like a dickhead move. The one thing I hate is not in the gym. It's external to the gym. Where back when I was CrossFit wanker, when I first started, and I used to post on like Instagram and Facebook, and I stopped doing it because I got hammered by my RAF mates. Mate,
you did
absolutely get hammered. So I ended up quitting that, and I regret, and I can't get back into doing it now because I feel as though like I've just wrote that off. So I think that's a dickhead move with people, just like not taking a piss at me. It's like CrossFit wanker. But half these people do CrossFit now. So I'm talking 7 years ago doing it. So it's like double standards, mate. So yeah, that's probably it. One of my biggest pet hates in life is double standards. You know what I mean?
Nice.
If you're gonna do one thing, you got to do it for everyone. And I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
No, I like it. Double standards. I think there's probably a bit of that floats about in gyms as well, isn't there? Like, don't do this, but do this. Right, this or that. So basically, quick fire questions. What do you prefer? Snatch or clean and jerk?
Clean and jerk.
Running or rowing?
Rowing.
Front squat or back squat?
Back squat.
Pizza or ice cream?
Ice cream.
Cookies or donuts?
Donuts, I think.
Ooh, nice. Good man. Books or movies?
Movies. About
Football.
Books.
Movies about books. Books about movies. Football or CrossFit?
Oh, that's a killer, mate. Football. Yeah,
Ooh,
I love it.
Get off my podcast. Anyway, Olympic gold medal or CrossFit Games gold medal, whichever you prefer, or £1 million.
What event?
I don't care. You choose.
There's so much gold medal in like fucking pigeon shooting. I don't want that.
Whatever you want.
All right, okay. 100-meter sprint gold medal.
Yeah, that definitely.
Yeah, you're making $1 million on that, aren't you, to be fair?
Yeah, making more than that, aren't you?
A lie-in or 6 a.m. class?
To be fair, my biggest problem is getting up, mate. Like my alarm goes and I press snooze, right? But when I do get up, I love that man. When I get up, I love that man that comes out of the gym afterwards, man. He's good. It's just that
I like him and all.
Yeah, me too.
It's that 3 minutes, mate. It's that 3 minutes between you know something? It's easier to press snooze. And like, yeah, that's so. I'd probably say 6 a.m.
What is funny as well though is when Gaz does get to the gym, he gets there 20 minutes before every fucker else.
Yeah.
Like, I'm there unlocking the gate, and Gaz has been there for half an hour with his brew. I'm like, why don't you just set your alarm 20 minutes later?
I don't know, mate. I always got taught to be early. Never be late. Always be early. So
be early or not at all.
Yeah, that's it. On or off. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Love it.
Right, Gaz, thanks very much for being on today, buddy. Obviously. Where's you don't post on Instagram or Facebook or anything, to be fair. So
just kids stuff now. Stuff about kids, and can't get hammered for that.
Cool.
So
well, the best place to find Gaz is in bed just before the 6 a.m. class starts.
yeah. Booking off at 5:15. Yeah. Thanks for having us on, boys. I thought we were going to talk about some other stuff, mate, but I thought we took a bit of a left turn. But yeah, it's been fun.
To be fair, like I say, we could keep you on all day, lad, and there is other things that I had on my list to speak to you about, but obviously it's got to be respectful of your time, and we've got but we can definitely get you on again. Like I say, I'll figure out how to click that explicit button and make sure that and probably make sure that your missus can't hear the podcast as well. That's probably important as well, wouldn't it?
We'll save it for BBC, Beardy Breakfast Club, when I'm back in the gym. So
yeah, definitely.
That's it. Again, thank you everybody for listening. If you enjoyed this podcast, you'll definitely enjoy our previous podcast with Craig Whitaker. Don't ask me what number it is. I'm not that professional. Number 7. Go on, lad. And obviously, we'd just like to thank our sponsor, X Endurance, for because we've literally just spoke to them and got that sorted. So that's why I'm shit at talking about it at the minute. But again, if you want to check them out, obviously check out X Endurance website, and then if you can get 20% off at checkout with code AgogeTV20. Again, guys, check that out. And obviously, like, share, review. Thank you very much for listening, guys. Peace.